Hi friends, Ashley Berges here, and I want to do a video today on the time change and how it impacts our life, okay? I know that some of you say, well, it's only 1 hour, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a huge deal because it impacts our circadian rhythm, and that's a big deal for our body. I have felt ineffective, I felt off point, I haven't been as focused as usual, and I've also felt, well, a little blue. Today I'm offering 4 tips to get you healthier, happier, to allow you to focus, to stay on point, to feel good, and to overcome the blues that usually comes around the time of a time change. A lot of times we think changing the clock just changed like the daylight time. It just changes everything. But you know what it's all about is the shift of time where the sun rises and how the sun sets. And so it's kind of a big deal when it comes to like our body clock, right? Because when we make these changes in our time, it causes disruptions in our body. And that body clock that we have is called the circadian rhythm, right? And the circadian rhythm, well, it's our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week internal clock that runs all the time in the background, right? It's running in the background, it's regulating everything, and it's in the background of our brain, and it cycles through when we're feeling really sleepy and when we're really alert. So a lot of times people call it what? The sleep-wake cycle. The first thing you can do is to catch up on your sleep. And I know you're saying, Ashley, hey, we gained an hour, we didn't lose an hour, but it doesn't matter. Think about being jet lagged. Think about going and traveling somewhere and there's a time change. Do you feel tired when you get there, right? It takes you a few days to adjust, and that's just time change based on jet lag, not a permanent hour change in your schedule. So one thing that I do is I really stick to a real good sleep pattern, meaning that I set my alarm and I decide what time I'm going to go to bed at night. And I know that sounds kind of counterproductive, but it's not. What I do is I actually set a little alarm on my phone that lets me know, hey, it's time to get some sleep. Even though I might not feel sleepy right that moment, I get myself into the pattern of sleeping. I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I get ready to sleep. I go and lay down in bed, maybe I bring a book, and I calm down. So I kind of focus on those things, and it really calms down my mind and allows myself to get ready to what? To sleep. The second thing to remember is that depression can be triggered because of this shift in time, because it gets darker earlier. I mean, heck, some of you are still at work like I am. You're still at work, you're still hanging out at the office, you look outside and it's pitch dark and you still haven't gone home, you still haven't taken the dog out, you still haven't made dinner. There's a Danish study that recently came out that 11% increased in depression cases right around the time change, right? And it takes about 10 to 14 weeks to dissipate. And the reason for that is that it's getting dark earlier, and we're not used to that. And really, honestly, our emotions are sometimes geared toward the light. So you got to be prepared for the fact that this might actually lead to a little bit of depression, and being aware of that is half the battle. Knowing that it's not coming from another outside source and realizing it's directly related to the time change. Now, I know you're wondering, hey, Ashley, okay, well, I'm feeling a little depressed, I'm feeling a little down, and you're right, because it's not sunny outside, it's dark when I'm leaving work, I am kind of feeling a little slow, and maybe a little depression. What do? Well, the third thing that you can do, besides being aware of the fact that this is where the depression might be coming from, is that guess what? You got to exercise. You got to put the exercise in overdrive, okay? A lot of times around this time of the year, we have a tendency of what? Well, we avoid the gym, we avoid running, we avoid walking, we avoid physical activity, and then guess what happens? Our mind's going, it's racing, it's going. I got all these thoughts in my head, I can't focus on this, I can't focus on that. When I'm trying to go to bed, all I can think about is what I didn't do today, the things that I have to do, oh God, the bills I haven't paid, oh, I hope I don't go to collections for that. You think about all that stuff. And so what I need you to focus on is your health. And the first thing that you can do, the first line of defense, is taking time at least every other day. Because I'm not saying to do it every day, because if I say it to do it every day, you're going to be like, done with this video, don't want to watch Ashley anymore, she's pushing me too much. I'm not going to do that. If you can get in the gym or get outside and walk for 20 to 25 to 30 minutes a day, every other day, you're going to feel like $1 million. You're going to feel so much better than you did before. And you know what's going to happen too is that's going to lower that depression, right? Because you're going to feel better. Get out there while there's still some sun. You can do it in the early morning. You can do it on your lunch break. There's a lot of opportunities that you have to get out there and exercise. And last but not least, set a strict schedule. And I know this sounds a little odd, but you need to go to bed around the same time every night, and you need to get up in the morning about the same time every morning. And so what I've been doing personally, is what I do, is I get ready for bed, and I try to get ready for bed within like a 30 to 40 minute window, right? Of the same time every night, no matter what. I get there, I kind of just focus on sleeping and relaxing and just letting things go from my head. Doing a simple meditation is really good too. And we'll talk about that on another video about how to really meditate, because I think oftentimes it gets lost in the shuffle because people try to tell you how to meditate and it doesn't make any sense. I have a simple way, I'll talk about that in the future. But really focusing on that, maybe reading a book and then setting that alarm and setting the time to wake up for the same time every morning. Even if you don't feel like waking up, getting up, it's amazing, because once you start training yourself, you can actually train your body clock to the right time. You can change your circadian rhythm at any time you want just through several weeks of repetition. Now, one thing that I like to do on my phone is I have my alarm set, right? And so when I'm changing my circadian rhythm and getting into the pattern I want to, I'll specify 15-minute increments. So I'll do 6:30 a.m., 6:45, and 7 a.m., right? And I do that because you know what? You're trying to train your body to get up at a certain time. And that 15 minutes, you could be coming out of a certain sleep pattern that might be beneficial, so you might want to take another 15 minutes. Something I like to do, and eventually you can train yourself to get up at the exact time. I hope these 4 tips help you, because it's all about being healthy and happy. And when the time changes, it's a real deal. And when you don't know where something's coming from, it's hard to pinpoint and make changes. But now you realize, well, you know what? I haven't been that focused. Maybe I feel a little off, and maybe I feel a little blue, and that's why. I hope these 4 tips help you. Look forward to hearing your feedback.